And now to Israel-Hamas war, where UN aid agencies say they have begun to significantly reduce their operations in the Gaza Strip because they have almost exhausted their fuel reserves. Meanwhile, UNRWA Chief Filipe Lazzarini says aid trucks that have been allowed in through an Egyptian crossing point so far have provided only crops. The chief, who spoke at a press briefing today, also denied Hamas had stolen UN fuel. This is coming amid calls by EU leaders for pauses in fighting between Israel and Hamas to allow aid to reach civilians. There is more in this report.
The besieged Gaza Strip is facing a health crisis in Israeli blockade as municipal services and waste management have been forced to shut down due to limited resources. The Commissioner General of UNRWA, which is UN's Agency for Palestinian Refugees, on Friday had a press conference where he spoke about the situation on the ground in Gaza and the urgent need for more humanitarian aid to be let into the territory. Filipe Lazzarini revealed that the people in Gaza are dying as basic services are crumbling. He added that Gaza is on the brink of a massive health hazard and the risk of diseases are looming as streets have started overflowing with sewage. The catastrophic conditions facing hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza risk getting worse still due to severe fuel shortages, with threatening to bring food and other humanitarian operations to a standstill. Leaders of the 27 EU member states have unanimously called for humanitarian corridors and pauses of the shelling in Gaza to allow food, water and medical supplies to reach Palestinians.
Hamas has provoked a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. For the Commission, it's very important that we continue to intensify our efforts to deal with the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The aid needs to reach Gaza unhindered and quickly. The 56 tons of aid that our two first humanitarian flights brought to Egypt have now been delivered to Gaza. This is important, but of course, more is needed. We will have our next two flights. They are scheduled for today, Friday, and more are planned over the following days. Furthermore, we are progressing fast on the implementation of the additional 50 million euros of extra humanitarian aid for Gaza. You might recall the humanitarian aid for Gaza was planned 25 million, and a week ago approximately we tripled it to 75 million euros. Now these additional 50 million have to be implemented. Tomorrow we will sign contracts worth 40 million euros with UN agencies, and the other 10 million will be used for the air bridge flights that I just mentioned.
Meanwhile, Israel has deployed more weapons at its southern border and its military bases there have intensified guarding. Large numbers of Merkava tanks, armored vehicles and soldiers are assembling in the border area. The tanks stationed at the border all possess a defensive shelter against drone attacks, and helicopters are patrolling in the sky. On the ground, temporary checkpoints have been set up to check vehicles passing by. As the Israel-Hamas conflict continues, Israeli tanks and infantry have raided the northern Gaza Strip. Israel said the move was part of preparations for the next stages of combat, in which it plans a ground offensive in Gaza.